is a simple process. You insert your card and you and your finances up to certain dangers if you are not careful. Always exercise caution whenever you are transacting ATM machine. Always use an ATM during daylight hours. Robberies are far more likely to happen during the night when fewer people surround that ATM location. However, if you have to use an ATM during the night, you need to choose a machine in a well-lit public area. Avoid using ATM located in isolated or obscured areas. Robberies are far more likely to happen in remote areas where the ATM is covered by shadows or other structures. You should avoid such environment since lesser people can witness any criminal activity taking place. Make sure that all the lights on the ATM are working. If ever you find an ATM with faulty lights or other visibly broken features, you need to avoid using that machine. Be cyber aware, be cyber smart. Transact with caution.
Umntwana wami noma angaba ne-HIV noma i-COVID-19 solo wami. Ujovile kutivikela ku-COVID-19 futhi uwanatha kahle ema-ARVs akhe. Ngiyamusekela ngetempile. Batali, sukumani, nithanze futhi nisekele bamphapeni kutempile. Balikusasa lelibandla nelive. #Jova nawe.
Lo mlayeto wemasonto neulethelwa litiko letempilo libambisene naNecha namhla buhlangene.
Hi guys, it's your girl Nogwazi Dlamini and this is Brains on the Go. We finally made it to Ngwane Central High School, as you can see right next to me.
I would just like to say I'm just excited to be meeting other people who are as passionate as I am.
What is our staple food, Vuyo?
It's maize.
Correct.
It has just gone 8 o'clock Central African Time. Good evening and welcome to the news bulletin at 8, brought to you by Eswatini TV. My name is Sanabo Ngwan alongside Makabiso Ngambule. Thank you so much indeed for choosing to stay with us. We're coming to you live from our Hospital Hill studios in Babane. Let's take a look at our top stories. The Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku says Eswatini is concerned about the increase of child-headed families, and it is for this reason that it is pushing for a commemoration of the World Orphan Day. The Minister for Public Works and Transport, Chief Mhlalutla Zandwandwe, has tasked the Registration Council for Architects, Engineers, Surveyors and Allied Professionals ASAP to ensure the inclusion of females, to ensure that they register under the council. And the Minister of Tingunda Administration and Development, David Ngampalala, says government is working towards developing all Tingunda centers to service centers where all government services are offered. And now the news in detail. The Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku says Eswatini is concerned about the increase of child-headed families, and it is for that reason that it is pushing for a commemoration of the World Orphan Day. Masuku said this when World Vision Lesotho and Child Protection Services departments engaged him on child protection and child rights issues.
As well, Vision Lesotho and the Lesotho Ministry of Social Development Child Protection Services is in the country to learn more about how to make successful prosecution in children cases. The team has met with the Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku and questioned him about issues related to his portfolio, especially those concerning children welfare. Masuku informs the delegate that Eswatini thinks the world is not doing enough on child-headed families.
I've realized that we have International Women's Day, Disability Day, HIV Day. All the days are there, except the commemoration of officially of the orphaned and vulnerable day. So an orphan day. So what we have been pushing for is to have that day, because we are ignoring that sector that we need to be focusing on. So yesterday, His Majesty's government gave me the mandate to lobby for that, to lobby for that. So because this country is is focusing on the development of children, because they are the future. So we get leadership and amazing support from the head of state.
The Lesotho delegation has engaged the Deputy Prime Minister.
I understood the rationale to get the buy-in of politicians, because then you have the same language which we don't understand, and also you will be bringing our issues to them for them to understand better, which is something that we need in Lesotho. We are very independent from them. We never get that platform to speak our issues. They don't even understand them. So I think if we can copy this and get there and show them what they need to be doing.
One thing that I have just picked up from Your Excellency today is your passion about child-headed households and the interventions that you have made through the projects that you have introduced. And I've also learned about the 42 homes that the care facilities for children that are around the country.
The Social Child Protection Services Department have visited courts and departments that deals with child protection in Eswatini. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla with Vuminkosi Nzinisa Mbabane.
The Minister for Public Works and Transport, Chief Ndladla Ndwandwe, has trusted the Registration Council for Architects, Engineers, Surveyors and Allied Professionals, ASAP, to ensure the inclusion of females and also to ensure that they register under the council. The Minister was speaking at Eswatini Hotel at Zulwini when announcing the new ASAP Council chaired by Ramford Zwane.
The Registration Council for Architects, Engineers, Surveyors and Allied Professionals, abbreviated as ASAP, is tasked with registering and improving the construction sector and ensuring that professionals in this sector are equipped with relevant skills and are experienced. This is under the Minister of Public Works and Transport. Speaking when introducing new members of the ASAP Council, the Minister of Public Works and Transport, Chief Ndladla Ndwandwe, says, as a ministry, they are committed to supporting the mandate of the Council and have hope that the Council will also ensure that females do register as well.
We are grateful and excited to have a group of professionals with remarkable track records to make up the council and bring unique talents, expertise, and perspectives. I am certain that under your guidance and leadership, the council will steadily work towards the fulfillment of its mandate as provided by the law. Undoubtedly, the council has made major strides towards its development. As a ministry, we are committed to continue supporting the mandate of the Council, and we count on you as well as strive to actively promote a vibrant, transformed and competitive construction sector that provides services that are at par with international standards.
The Registrar of the Council, Lwazim Temkulu, commended the outgoing Council for working diligently even without funding from government.
We have also engaged municipalities, government ministries, mainly the Ministry of Public Works and Transport and the Ministry of Natural Resources and Energy, on issues of compliance. We have also engaged parastatals such as the Micro Projects Coordinating Unit, Eswatini Environmental Authority, Eswatini National Housing Board, and the Eswatini Electricity Company to kolumisa issues of compliance.
The chairperson of the council, Ramford Zwane, who was represented by Stumo Dlamini, expressed gratitude for the first and second council for laying a concrete foundation for the incoming council. The council is expected to be in office for a period not exceeding 3 years. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Kian MCB at Sibana Hotel Ezulwini.
The Minister for Tingula Administration and Development, David Ngampalala, says the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini is working towards developing all Tingula centers to service centers where all government services are offered. The minister has been speaking when touring the Lobamba Service Center together with the United Nations Eswatini office.
The Minister of Tingula Administration and Development, through the decentralization program, started the Tingula Center Development Program to service centers where Emaswati will be able to get all government services. The program was piloted in 4 Tinkundla centers across the country's 4 regions. On Wednesday, the Minister of Tinkundla, David Ngampalala, together with the United Nations Eswatini office, had a visit to the Lobamba in Nkundla, as it is amongst the 4 developed Tinkundla centers. The minister says the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini will work towards developing all the constituencies to bring government services closer to the people.
Sifiso sahulumende weNgwenyama kubekuya ngaye lonke lelive ngasenjengalobamba namhlambanyathi nalgongolwene nalehlene. Kodwa ke ngokushoda kwetimali kusaqhutshekwa ukuthi ema-service aye kubantu njengoba sibona nje ukuthi lalala kalobamba besingafisa ukuthi enabe nelive lonke. Siyathi ukuthi sibonile itolo bantu nje bafuna certificate ID ushilo umhlonishwa lapha ukuthi bebavuka ebusuku bayokuma la bemakhona lama service ke la aphungula lo mthwalo kuleti indawo letinye besibona bomanzini bombabane njengoba bashilo ukuthi noma ubuya kalo emaphalaleni ubuye eMarkens ungeta uthole le service la kalobamba.
The United Nations Eswatini Resident Coordinator George Wachira says such initiatives will help the country in attaining the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals.
As the UN, our role and presence here in the Kingdom of Eswatini is to support the efforts of the government of the Kingdom to really make sure that we are moving together towards developing our people, especially in the spirit of the aspirations of all the member states of the United Nations to achieve Agenda 2030.
Lobamba Member of Parliament Alan Stewart says they require assistance to further improve the Nkundla to accommodate everyone.
The latest books would do us good. You know, times change and everything changes, you know. So the children that we have now, you know, they need the new books. And the need to digitalize the library too is there. I'm sure with time we'll get that through.
The Minister of Nkundla, with the assistance from the United Nations, plans to establish a service center at Lavumisa. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Samkelsiwe Koza, Lobamba.
Government spokesperson Alpheus Nxumalo vehemently refutes reports suggesting that the Southern African Development Community Troika Extraordinary Summit was postponed due to the unavailability of Eswatini. Nxumalo says government was ready to partake in the summit.
The correct position is this. The correspondence has been sent to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade and International Cooperation does not state the reasons why the Head of State Summit was postponed. It's an initiative that has been taken by the Secretariat of the SADC Troika to the effect that the summit is postponed until further notice. Bagangwane, in as far as we know as government, we're ready to participate in this meeting. Our Head of State was ready to participate in this meeting, but for reasons that are not known yet and have not been communicated to us, SADC has postponed that Head of State. So therefore, the reports that are being perpetrated by one journalist, Amanda Koza, of Times Life, are incorrect, are inaccurate, And that is ingenuous to extend because she could have consulted us to find the views of and the position of the government, especially if it was supposedly the cause of the postponement of the meeting. It is not correct in Barangwane. Barangwane were ready to participate. SATAC decided on its solution to postpone the meeting until further notice. The other issue Maswati that are concerned with is which passport former MP of Spofane Nibabe Makaukau Simelane is using or has used to travel to London. The position that we have is that the British High Commission in the Kingdom of Swaziland did not participate in arranging the trip which Babe Simelane undertook. And secondly, the position that we are finding out on the ground is that Simelane used certain agencies to apply for visa to go to this particular trip. However, government in this side, through the Minister of Home Affairs, is seized with the matter to find out if he has used the state's passport or not. Because we would like to remind the Maswati that a passport, although it is in the disposal and use of individual citizens, it remains the property of the state at all material times. So there is no government that can sit back and watch when people, first and foremost, who ran away from the country because they are fugitive of law, are using the same state property to travel the world and continue to dent the good image of the country. Government have not yet taken a decision in that respect. However, it's a matter that is on table. Government is considering what can be taken as a result.
Cheshire Home Eswatini has had a meeting with members of Parliament and senators to deliver a report on the 2021-2022 Cheshire Home Rehabilitation Outreach Program. Cheshire Home's Director Kabo Dlamini says they have 21 Tingula centers through the outreach program.
The Cheshire Homes Eswatini started an outreach program last year called the Cheshire Homes Rehabilitation Outreach Program, where they visited Tingundla centers, offering rehabilitation services to persons with disabilities in Eswatini. On Wednesday, Cheshire Homes met with members of Parliament and senators to report on the program. Cheshire Homes Director Kabo Dlamini says they were able to reach 21 Tingundla centers.
Concerns lathide abantu labasiphathise wona lafaka ekhathi lokuthi indzaba yekuhola labanye bayahola bashayile landla kepha ke babe sebayasiphathisa lokuthi basibabutele lokuthi lume njalo lohlelo ngoba khona labasalele ngaphandle.
Director of Health Dr. Vusi Makakula said health extension officers are key to the welfare of persons with disabilities in the country.
The rural health motivators are responsible for health and social issues within chiefdoms and constituencies. RHMs are to date working with community members to promote health for a variety of primary health care topics and remain an important link between the community members and health services.
Principal Social Welfare at the Deputy Prime Minister's Office, Nondumiso Skosana, says only 16% of persons with disabilities receives disability grants from the Deputy Prime Minister's Office.
The study sabo besithi 146,000 nga 2017, but bantu labatfola le grant bangu 9,761. It's not even angati ikota noma yini. It's about 16% population yabantu labakhubatekile labatfola i-grant.
Senate Deputy President Ndumiso Mdluli, with Deputy Speaker Madala Mhlanga, said the low statistics of disability grants beneficiaries shows the need for government to urgently finalize the Disability Act.
ukuze ukuthi le budget ikhona kube inkulu ikhona lokuthi ba-embrace cishe bonke uma kungempela.
Siyakuthola futhi nekuthi lokuphutha kwebusha lomthetho webantu living with disabilities kusikhinyabhedo kanganani ekusebenteni kwelitiko laka DPM. Kukhuthatha nje ukuthi vele bawumane bawugijimise ngoba naku neParliament yesi11 selithumela emasumbeni seyahamba kansolo le bill ayifiki ngaseParliament kanti imqoka kakhulu ikakhulu kulabo bantu labaphila nokukhubazeka.
Through the outreach program, Cheshire Homes was able to reach 500 persons with disabilities across the country's 4 regions. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Samgal Suekoza, Eswatini.
The Regional Director for UNICEF in the Eastern and Southern Africa, Mohammed Malik Fall, urges girls to aim high and never underestimate themselves in life. Now, the Regional Director is in the Kingdom of Eswatini, where he visited Swaga St. Teresa High School.
Mohammed Malik Fall, the UNICEF Regional Director for Eastern and Southern Africa, is in the Kingdom on a visit to talk to children and issues affecting them and how UNICEF can possibly intervene. He first visited Swaga and proceeded to St. Teresa's High School, where he was told that the school has a girls' empowerment club where girls talk about issues affecting them, empower each other, and talk about growth opportunities, amongst other things. He says he was impressed with women in leadership positions in Eswatini, where he had earlier met cabinet ministers who many of them were women.
You should not be deterred by those. I think we are offering this club, we are offering this kind of activities to help you also to build self-confidence, to help you to build self-esteem, but to understand also that there is a past world and there is a world that is coming. If you look at today's world, you see leaders and women are taking so many big positions and great positions, and what allows it is nothing else than the kind of activity you are doing to build your self-esteem, to build your self-confidence, and to work hard.
The teacher at St. Teresa's High School, Nelisoma Vimbela, says there are things they cannot talk to the girls about, but the girls comfortably talk to each other about. That's the importance of the club.
They used to come here and teach them about those things, and it did help because the mentor was almost their age. So they were able to open up even more than with us as teachers.
The girls say they get harassed sometimes on a daily basis by different people in their different walks of life.
Travel from home to school using public transport, we get harassed a lot. And in harassment, it's usually those strong words that really sit in you and you keep on thinking about that daily.
In this club, we get to talk about it because it's where we are comfortable as girls, and we trust each other in this club because we feel like a family.
So here, you know, we could just be open, we could talk, because when we talk, you get to be open to everyone, and someone who was going through the same thing and doesn't understand where it's going gets to actually realize it's normal, I'm not abnormal.
Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Kian Msibi, Manzini.
Let's take a look at our financial indicators and see how markets perform today in our financial report.
Standard Bank. It can be.
Welcome back. You're still with the news bulletin at 8 here at Eswatini TV. Thanks so much indeed for choosing to stay with us. I'm Sanipo Ngongwane, and we shall now take a look at news making headlines in the world of sports. Minister for Sports Harry Seblunga says ensuring that local athletes are clean from doping substances is one of the key elements that will provide podium finish to the athletes and the country at large. Seblunga was speaking during the official opening of a one-day workshop on anti-doping regulations validation at Eswatini Lodge. Fabrice Msonera has more on that story.
The Minister for Sports, Haris Matsebulunga, officially opened a one-day workshop known as Anti-Doping Regulations Validation Workshop, which was outlining different regulations that should be followed in avoiding doping cases from local athletes. The same regulations are in line with the rules from World Anti-Doping Agency. The workshop was attended by the Minister of Sports, the Portfolio Committee of the Minister of Sports in Parliament, the Eswatini Sports and Recreation Council, and the Eswatini Olympic and Commonwealth Games Association.
These regulations, once fully adopted as a piece of legislation, will close the necessary legislative gaps that have been existing and have been creating possibilities of an unfair sporting environment in the kingdom. These first of its kind regulations are a dawn of a new era in that they will help bring us closer to the ultimate goal of creating a doping-free sporting environment in Eswatini. It is our role as His Majesty's government to create the adequate legislative environment to ensure that our athletes do not fall into the pitfalls of doping, which may lead to premature end of their careers or losing valuable income and time while curtailing the overall development of our sport.
In 2019, the Kingdom of Eswatini was hit by a doping scandal that saw one of the athletes being banned for a period of 4 years without competing in the sport after it was found that the athlete had used a substance that is banned by the World Anti-Doping Agency. For Eswatini TV Sports, Hobisum Sonera, Matsapa.
The Minister for Sports has handed over 8,000 malangeni to 2 taekwondo artists who returned home with medals from the Taekwondo African Championships games that were held in Rwanda. The artists are Bongumu Samkachwa, who returned home with a silver medal, while Kalota Maneuver got a bronze medal. Now, the awarding ceremony was held in Matsapa.
The Minister of Sports has handed 8,000 malangeni to 2 taekwondo artists who returned home with medals from the Taekwondo African Championship Games that were held in Rwanda, Kigali. The Minister for Sports, Haris Bulunga, says this is one way of encouraging local athletes to keep on working hard.
The 2 athletes will be receiving a total of 8,000 malangeni in government incentives today. A silver medal is worth 5,000 malangeni. A bronze medal is worth 3,000 malangeni. So this is government's way of recognizing and appreciating the excellence of our athletes.
The artists are Bongumusa Mkachwa, who returned home with a silver medal.
I'm so happy what I achieved, and my coach, my mom, and everyone support. I thank you, my coach, my mom, and everyone that supported me.
The other artist is Kalota Maneuver, who returned home with a bronze medal.
I'm extremely happy. Not even words can explain how I feel right now. This trip was a challenging one, hiccups here and there, and a part of me just wanted to go back home. But my mom has been so supportive in a manner that even I have never imagined. So, okay, your parent can be there for you like that and be the one who's pushing you to go and do what you have to do.
The Taekwondo Association has highlighted that the rewards are indeed a sign that the sport is indeed growing in the country. For Eswatini TV Sports, Hobisum Sunera, Matsapa.
With those sports news, we've hit the home stretch of the news bulletin at 8 at Eswatini TV. But before we go, here's a quick reminder of our top stories tonight. The Deputy Prime Minister Cheba Masugu says Eswatini is concerned about the increase of child-headed families, and it is for this reason that it is pushing for a commemoration of the World Orphan Day. The Minister for Public Works and Transport, Chief Mtlalutla Zandwandwe, has tasked the Registration Council for Architects, Engineers, Surveyors and Allied Professionals ASAP to ensure the inclusion of females, to ensure that they register under the council. And the Minister of Tingunda Administration and Development, David Ngampalala, says government is working towards developing all Tingunda centers to service centers where all government services are offered. Beautiful Kingdom of Eswatini, it's been a pleasure indeed to have reached the conclusion of our news bulletin at 8 at Eswatini TV. We shall now cross over to the Weather Center for a detailed weather report from us and the rest of the crew here at Eswatini TV. For now, it's good night and God bless.